Yep, recording.
Okay, perfect.
Now we know.
All right. So let's see. Should we start it or you want to wait a little bit?
Let's start it.
All right. I'm all about like respecting time and all that. So it's a little bit after 6. Okay. So thank you guys all for making it a priority to jump on here. I know it's a busy time of year. There's always stuff to do. Life is constantly happening. But like, that's the great thing about this job. Here I am, and yes, I do call this a job because it is a job. Here I am, my oldest is at soccer. I'm walking at the park and making this work. If I find an empty bench, I'll actually sit on the bench to do the call. So there's gotta be an empty bench. But the whole purpose of like our Dream Builder calls is to really share best practices and to empower each other. And we're all in this because we want more. Like, we want more from this business than we're getting. We know what's possible with this business and we're willing to do the work. So I've kind of been like, I don't know if you saw the post this morning, but I shared that post about the wolf pack. And it was something that really spoke to me because it talks about just like a pack is full of all sorts of leaders. You have the 3 oldest leading from the front. You have like, the next few that are really, really strong and reliable. And then you have the true leader in the back that's kind of like watching over and there to like pick up the pieces and to protect from danger and everything. And when I think about our Beachbody team, like, we truly are a wolf pack. There's not one leader on this team. I mean, you can say that, just for the sake of there being 3, it works out as a perfect analogy that Michelle, Emily, and I are those first 3. We're the most seasoned coaches on here. We've, been there, done that. We've failed so we can teach you through your own failures. Like, we faced the fears that you're facing so we can lead you through those. But all of us are leaders in different ways. And it's super cool to see different leaders shining in different areas at different times. And especially when maybe one of us that's leading from the front or one of us that's leading from the back isn't having the same success or is kind of like stuck. We get so energized when we see these leaders rising up and really taking charge. So I've seen that in Hannah, and Hannah is a coach that's on Emily's team. And she's somebody that I can totally relate to because she is in education. She became a coach and she's like, I love the idea of this. I love the concept. I'm teaching. And if you're a teacher, like, teaching isn't go to school at 8:00, leave the classroom at 3 and put your feet up and relax. Like, teaching is a 24/7 job. And you just take so much stress and emotion and all of that home with you. So I have so much respect for like her for learning the business and waiting until she was ready to jump all the way in. And she did that this summer. She took advantage of her summer. She established routines that are going to be fail-proof for this school year. And she completely changed her energy. And it's the energy, like, it's not what she was doing. She wasn't doing anything differently. Like, we didn't give her the, okay, here's the summer teacher script to be the best coach out there now that you're not teaching. Like, it was the same exact thing that she's always had, but her energy changed and her belief changed. So seeing that has been so incredibly empowering. So I wanted to let Hannah share what she's doing and how her energy has changed. And then after she's done, I'll introduce Brittany to you and tell you why I chose Brittany to speak tonight as well. So Hannah, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, and then I know you're going to have some slides to share. So let me know if you need any help doing any of that.
Okay. I think this is my first time sharing. I don't know what I'm looking at. Can you guys see it? I don't know. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. It's on here.
Okay. Cool. So I was really excited that Nina asked me to share tonight. Today was the first day of school. So I literally just walked in the door and changed. And now I'm here, and I'm gonna eat dinner with my husband after, because I was like, go away, I have this call going on. But I'm a teacher, so I wanted to prep a PowerPoint because today was a very large day for me, and I do my lesson plans through Google Slides, and I thought it'd be fun to have like a visual for you to see as well, and it'll keep me on track. So tonight's topics, this is what Nina asked me to cover. My journey as a coach, just story time, I feel like, which I think is just like always fun to hear. I love hearing other people's stories. The switch I made this past summer that led me to success, and then hopefully number 3, my plan to keep this momentum going now that I'm officially into the school year again. So this is my like first message I got from Emily. I got home from the summit and I sat down and I pulled up Facebook Messenger and I like scrolled back through until I found it, and I took a screenshot and sent it to her, and I was like, check this out. This is the first message you ever sent me. So this was like 2 years ago. I put the dates on all these things because I'm very much like a data kind of person whenever it comes to like teaching and stuff. So like tracking my journey is very like fun and interesting to me. And whenever she first reached out to me, I was really confused because I saw that she was like into fitness and stuff, but I was like, who is this person? Like, we have a lot of mutual friends, but like, I don't remember meeting her. And then I thought I was like going crazy because I was like, I don't know who this person is. And I was a fitness instructor at Penn State. And it's a very like small like cohort of girls. So I'm like, oh, she had to have been a fitness instructor. Like, she's into fitness. She wasn't. And we have a ton of mutual friends, but so just keep that in perspective that she reached out to me like 2 years ago for the first time. And then 2 years later, I finally tried my first Lift 4 sample. And this was after she had reached out to me a bunch of times in those 2 years. And it wasn't always about like Beachbody stuff. Sometimes it was just like catching up. And I think this is good to hear because this helps me to keep things in perspective because I like experienced it from the other side. So now when I'm interacting with people, I get it because I was there. It's almost like being a teacher and then being a parent. It's like you get it from both sides. So I finally tried the sample and I loved it. And I like a little bit later was like, hey, sign me up. This sounds really fun. And I just took like snippets of like, I mean, technology is awesome and it's forever. You can like go back and find everything between messages and emails. So I officially joined Team Beachbody as a coach last year, like almost a year ago, or actually it wasn't as a coach, it was as a customer. Because I was telling Emily, like I had been following her, not like stalking, no, but that's the point of social media, right? Is to like follow along with people. And I was like, I really want to do this. Like, this sounds interesting. This girl is awesome. Like, she's so happy and this is her job. And I've always been into fitness and nutrition, and she's working on her mental health and she's helping other people. Now that I'm in it, I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Why did I not get started in this sooner? But I initially joined as a customer because it was the first I'm like, I really want to do this. This sounds really cool. But I literally just started the school year and I was in a new state, a new school, a new grade, a new content area. So I was just like drowning in new things. And then I decided to like join this. So I was pretty much just a discount coach after that, I was a discount coach. But I thought this was funny. This was like my first drink with Shakeology. I said no longer aversion to Shakeology because I've been obsessed with it ever since. And there's my like, hi, selfie with it. You can tell it's like my first one posing with a bag. This was hilarious, like going through this to prep this. But I finally tried, dove into the workout, and I wasn't with the launch group of everybody, and I was shortly behind, but I was okay with that because I was still like very committed to doing the program. And then finally 4 weeks into the program, I hate this selfie. It's so awkward, but that was like me in the car on the way to work. I was like halfway through Lift 4 and I was like, okay, I want to keep getting this shake. So you might as well like put me in as a discount coach. And I wanted to coach, but I just like couldn't like physically find the time to do it as being a teacher at a new school. But since I said I'm going to coach, I jumped on the first coach call, the 24 hours to Emerald call. And I literally think I like pulled over in a gas station and jumped on the Zoom call. And I was like, it was pouring down rain, and that's why I had to pull over and not just like listen in the car. But I was like, I signed up. I want to do this. I want to commit to it. So it was like late, like 8 o'clock. I stayed late at work, but I still jumped on the call anyway. And then I finally shared like my coming out post, and I included these other ones because it just kind of like shows like my life. Like there's me at school with my shake that I drink every morning. And then I didn't like know that Instagram stories existed. I learned about them last October when I went to the retreat. And like, I think it was hilarious scrolling back and like finding these pictures, because there's us eating dinner and I took a Snapchat of it. I knew how to use Snapchat, but I did not know how to use Instagram stories yet. So I finally shared like, hey, I'm going to do this coaching thing. And I hit Emerald the next month. Thank you, Mom and Dad. That's the reason why. And I went to Utah, and that was a really big deal for me because going into coaching, I was already happy with like my physical self. I ate well, I exercised, but it was really like the mental self, which you can't like see in pictures necessarily. I guess you can see it through people's smiles sometimes and stuff. But this was like a huge jump for me. I was going on an airplane by myself to go hang out with a bunch of girls that I've like never even met before. And I showed up at the Airbnb at like midnight, let myself in, slept on the couch. Like I was very excited, but I was also like, oh shit, what am I doing? I hope this is the right house because I'm sleeping on their couch tonight. But I had so much fun, and I met everyone pretty much for the first time. Before that, I had met Emily. We were actually on the plane together from Pittsburgh back to Colorado, and it was my wedding, and I was walking in with like my bouquet after my wedding. So and the pilot like announced on the plane, like, oh, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. And Emily like sent me a message or something on Facebook. And I was like, Dave, the girl I've been talking to is like on this plane. So after I like finally said hi to her, and we both lived in Colorado. So the first time we like in person on purpose was actually on like St. Patrick's Day, I think, of like 2018. So anyway, I hope this story is entertaining because it was super entertaining for me to like go back through it. But I came back from Utah, like pumped up, excited. And I talked to my principal right away. And I think these pictures are hilarious. Like that's what I went to school in because it was hat day. And that night I got, I had finished the Lift 4 program. So I got the tank top for your transformation. And the picture of like the collage is like my shake that morning that I drank, and then the PIO class I held after school. And I had to check with my principal, of course, because like I was doing something new about Beachbody because she has like a cousin or something that is involved. And she's like, yeah, that's totally fine. As long as you're not like charging people. I was like, no, I'm not charging people. Like, it's just for fun. It's bonding. And it was awesome for me as a new teacher. So I don't know where everyone's from, but like, if there's a way you can get people together, and I held like 8 different sessions, and it was free, of course. And we just hit play and did a workout together. And we just did yoga or PIO because it was the least like impact. It was more like stretching and stuff like that. And we chatted through it. And now I have 5 coworkers that are doing Morning Meltdown 100 with me. So I was like, those 8 free sessions were worth it because I have people under me. And am I supposed to be looking at the chat? Because I'm totally not. So I don't know if I'm supposed to answer. Okay. Going forward a little bit, on Halloween night, I was up at like midnight and my husband's like sleeping next to me. I'm like, okay, I'm buying this ticket. I like didn't even tell him I was buying it, but I was like, I really want to go. And I think the price was like increasing the next day or something. So it's like midnight and I'm like laying in bed after we handed out candy, and he was Christopher Robin and I was Pooh Bear. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to Summit. So I told him the next day, I was like, Dave, so I bought this ticket to Summit, and we live in Florida, and Indianapolis is like kind of far away. So I'm like, I didn't buy a flight or hotel, but I'm going to Summit apparently. And still like wasn't really sure what this coaching thing was, but I was like, this is really cool. Like this will be so fun. Let's go. And then in October, I had hit like my highest success club so far. Up until then, it was Success Club 8. And shout out to like all the leaders that do these like posts, because I Snapchat like all of them. They're so fun, and I like love the like appreciation that we get from it. So a couple months later, I shared this with my team, and if anyone wants me to share it after, I am not a paper person. I like to do everything online because it's at my fingertips, and I use Google Sheets, and I use this like as a teacher, and then I also use it like as a coach. And I love it because I pretty much just fill in the boxes like green if I did it, or gray if I didn't. And then I have like an Excel document that has like two different things. So I have like, for example, August, like I have the bat tracker, and then I have like my power hour. And in the power hour, I have like just columns of new connections, invites, and follow-ups. And I love it because it's like very visual for me. Like I can see my numbers if I did my shit or if I didn't do it. And then you can do like control find, and you can search things. And like I literally copy and paste people's messages and responses from like Instagram or Facebook into it because it's my data. Like the views and the likes and the comments are my data. And as a teacher, your data of your students drives your instruction, and the data of people on social media, which for everyone else in the world, it's just for fun and kicks and giggles and fake internet points is what my husband calls it. But for us, it's like, that's your data. And so if anyone wants me to share it after, I can, but I'm just not a paper person because it's like hard to flip through everything. And then I like edit it like while I'm on my phone and stuff like that. And I put notes in it. So I'm very like, and then when you do stuff like this, like you can easily find everything because it's all online. So that's kind of been like my big, I love my like Excel tracker. But so this is me lounging on the beach, June 3rd. I finally dove in, which was like 2 months ago. And I posted about this too, like what I'm doing this summer. And I said, like, I'm going to dive into online coaching. And when people were like, oh, you have the summers off, da, da, da. I'm like, hey, I work my ass off during the school year. I deserve to have that summer off. And I'm going to do this online coaching thing. So I was working, and people like saw that. They saw the success I had. They saw like me working, the time I was putting in. So it kind of worked out well because they had two different like bets going on. With Team and See the Dream, I joined the June Health Bet. And then with the Dream Builders, I did the Countdown to Summit. And I was like, the stars could not align better. Like I wanted to jump into this anyway. And I'm going to put 20 bucks into each of these, and I'm going to do it. And I don't care if I win because this is holding me accountable. So there's me like being obnoxious on the 4th of July in my little get up outfit. I look like I'm going to a country. I don't know. I look silly. But I was like so excited that the girls in our group voted for me for it. So that was a good accomplishment, I guess. And then I also, I tied for second, I guess, with the Dream Builders. So that was really fun because stuff like that, I was like, we need to do that again because stuff like that like holds me even more accountable whenever you're doing like little competitions like that. So I went to Summit, and it was the best time ever. I love it so much. And my husband got to come with me, and it was an eye-opening experience. And if you're on this call and have not bought your ticket to Summit, go buy it. Don't even tell your significant other or anyone, because that's what I did. It was like midnight on Halloween, and I'm like, I'm buying this ticket. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Even if I have to walk, like I'm going to Summit somehow. And it was like the best thing ever because my husband and I got to see what this business is all about. Like I had like some success in June, and I was doing all the things, and but I like honestly still had so many questions. I'm like, you kind of just like dive in, and then you learn how to swim along the way. Is kind of how I look at it, which is like terrifying, but you just figure it out. Like I know so many things now that I didn't know before, but I know I also have so much to learn. So going there, leaving there, it was just nice because my husband's like, okay, this is legit. Like you can do this. And like seeing Emily walk across the stage in her beautiful gown and being elite, I was like, one day I'm going to be up there. I know I will be because I'm willing to put in the effort that it takes to get there. And for me, I told my husband that I was a gymnast growing up, and elite was like the highest you could hit in gymnastics. And I ended up competing like a level 9, 10 meet, which is like right below that. And like I look up to Emily like I used to look up to Olympians in the gymnastics. But when you're little and looking up to people like that, you're like, oh, I can't like really actually get there. But like I still look up to them and I'm inspired by them. But looking up to Emily, I'm like, oh, like I could get there. I could do that. So having like elite status for me for my whole life as a gymnast, and now elite being like this big thing as a coach, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So I bought my ticket to Summit. I'm going, and it's great that it's in NOLA because we'll be driving there from Destin, Florida. And so my plan of action of how I pushed the ball and I got it rolling, and now I need to keep it rolling. So I have a couple of tips for you guys. I pulled up a Charlie Brown picture, my advice, because I've only been doing this for 2 months, and these are things that really dove into it. I was sometimes posting on my story, and once I learned what a story was, and on my feed and stuff, but I wasn't doing all the other things. So as of 2 months ago, this is some of my takeaways, which again, you've probably heard it before, but for me, I honestly love hearing the same things again because it enforces it. And sometimes you hear it in a different way. So I hope it's helpful. I've got 5 little things, and I'm sorry if I'm talking way too long, but I'm almost done. So my first thing is to make a plan. Today is the first day of school, and after a business builder call I had with Emily, she said, make a schedule, which I'm all about schedules. I love schedules and planning things out. That is my jam. So Google Keep is my best friend. I love it. I should make a commercial for them. But I kind of made a layout for myself of how a typical Monday through Thursday, how I'm going to make this work. And me spelling that out for myself, forces me to do it, because it's if I hit snooze, I'm going to be off track. I need to get up, and I'm not only getting up for me, but now that I have people under me, it's I need to get up for them too. And then the future people that want to do this with me. So I love this app. I'm going to talk about it for a second, because you can share it with other people. For example, my husband and I use it for groceries, and you can also move things over. So it's a bulleted list. So, I'll pull it up on my phone. I have one that's called coaching, and, this might be helpful for some of you, because I know a lot of people are oh, I'm a paper person. I like sticky notes. I don't like that, because my list needs to be in order by priority. It needs to be pretty looking. And all that stuff. So I have a coaching one that says to do right now, soon, what I need to talk about with my working coaches, whose carts I need to follow up on, people that are very interested. And then when you're scrolling through and looking at, you can't always reach out to those people right then, but I have a list of so many people to reach out to from Facebook, from Instagram, that have been following along. And yes, I might have talked to them before. And yes, I might have reached out to them before. And maybe they didn't respond, but they keep following along. So they're on my list to reach out to them again. And it might not be hey, I'm doing this challenge group kind of thing. It might be just I don't know, hey, how's a lot of them are teachers. So it's hey, how's the school year starting up? Just getting that conversation flowing again. So make a plan for yourself and stick to it. Then second thing is do the damn things. You have to take action. The 4 vital behaviors that they talk about. And I love that at Summit, they enforce that. It's all those people that are up on the stage are doing all the things that the people in the nosebleed seats are doing. So you have to do them. And I was a discount coach, honestly, all last school year. And just me sharing things randomly on my feed or my story is not going to get people involved. My family got involved, and because people saw me a little bit. And then when I started reaching out to them, they're oh yeah, I've been seeing you do this. But if you want to see results, you have to just do it. Don't stop making excuses. Just get down to it. I love this quote that Rachel Hollis said at Summit. She said, comparison is the death of joy and momentum. And my husband calls them fake internet points, the likes and the comments and stuff. But I don't have, if you look at my stuff, I don't have that many likes. I don't have that many followers. I want to build my followers. But I had Success Love 22 last month. So I'm yeah, you might have thousands of followers, and yes, you might have 500 likes. But if I'm successful, I don't really care, because that's not the point of it. The point of it isn't to have so many likes. I'm I don't really care if you and that's why the views is the best thing ever. I hope Instagram and Facebook never gets rid of that, because I think people are very timid to like or comment a picture, react to it, because everyone sees that. But people who view it, that's who I reach out to a lot, honestly. So inspiration from Elsa. Let it go. Don't really care. Be unapologetically you. Took some Dr. Seuss quotes because I'm a teacher and they make me happy. And writing posts for me is honestly like journaling. I love it. And the personal development piece of coaching has helped so much with that, because I literally like am in the car listening to podcasts, and I like pause it and I pull up a note and I press the little speaker button and I'll like talk to my phone because it's not safe to like text and drive. But the personal development I listen to, I like take those big ideas and they like help me to like share it with the world and then put my own twist on it and share my own story. So be you and just have fun with it. And then my last thing is hold on to your why, like your life depends on it, because it does. This little collage of my husband and I. That's from senior prom, like May 2010. And then that's like us this past summer. Is because my mom was a stay-at-home mom and I want to give myself that option one day because I loved it. That's the only thing I experienced. So financially, I wanted to give myself that option. And meanwhile, if I can work out, eat healthy, work on my mental health, share that with, that's what I'm like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like, why would I not do this? So, and this is going to be TMI, but like, right here, right now, I'm like, this is it. This is the moment I was waiting for because we're in the process of like trying and we want to start a family. And I'm like, this is it. Like, whatever it happens, like I have 9 months until this thing arrives. And if I don't want to go back to school, the time is ticking. So yeah, just hold on to your why. And like last week I posted about this, but like, I had like my highest paycheck so far, which was like, I like was literally crying. And I think I was sitting at school and I texted Emily and I was like, girl, look at this email I just got. But I bought an Apple Watch because my Fitbit broke for $358. And my paycheck last week was $354. So I was like, yes. And I was like, what could I do with an extra almost $400 every week? I could do a lot. And teachers don't make very much. So I was like, and I'm not even diamond yet. I need to get there. But I was like, this is pretty awesome. And I'm just excited I refuse to make excuses and I refuse to like regret not getting into this. So, yeah. That's not all. There's my contact information. Yeah, sorry.
No, awesome. Hannah, that was amazing. So there's 4 things that I want to kind of recap before I introduce Brittany. And the first thing is, like, I hope you guys all feel her energy coming through this phone, like, or through your computer, whatever you are on. Like, her energy is amazing. And the second thing I want to say, like, be prepared to hear her on a national wake-up call. And it's just a matter of time until she walks across that stage and she will be doing it on repeat because she's got the belief and the mindset and she's willing to put the work in. And that's all this business is, like believing in it, knowing you can do it, and being willing to work. So that is absolutely amazing. The next thing I want to talk about is, so talk about like the magic of social media and finding your niche. So you guys might not know, but like, so obviously Hannah and Emily didn't know each other before Beachbody or before like the process of Beachbody, like that initial connection. And then many, many other connections. But they went to the same college. They lived in Colorado at the same time. And their worlds, like, their paths were just crossing in so many different ways. And that's why we say, like, don't post and invite everybody, but post to the person that you are. Post to yourself and invite who you are. Because that's when you find people like this, like, the magic is going to happen. That relationship is there. The connection is going to happen. And then the last thing is just like what I remind my coaches and what I remind myself every single day. And my challenger is to always know your worth and remember your why. And this last slide that Hannah showed, like, she knows her why. And you know what? It's the first day of school. And guess what? She's like, if you've been a teacher, you know what teacher tired is. And the first like 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months are hell. Like, you make it through Labor Day and it's finally like, okay, I can breathe. And what is she doing on the first day of school? She is on here sharing her heart and sharing her passion because she knows her why, and her why is so much bigger than herself. It's so much bigger than a $400 paycheck. And if we all can tap into that why, then we're going to make these calls. We're going to put the work in. We're going to do the damn stuff. So thank you so much, Hannah. At the end, we'll go back to questions and answers if you have time to stay on. but I know Brittany is actually at work right now. So I want to make sure I respect her time before she gets called out to be Nurse Brittany. So the reason I asked Brittany to come on this call, there's actually a couple different reasons. So Brittany and I met through this journey. She was actually not a personally sponsored coach of mine. And we had a mutual best friend, and she was under that friend, and that friend quit, and then Brittany rolled up to me. And the second time I met Brittany, she actually met my daughter before I even met her, which is kind of funny. But the second time I met Brittany was when she committed to go on our retreat out to Utah. And it was when I really got to know her, because the first time I met her was like for 2 seconds at a Super Saturday. She had to leave early and I was on market council, so it was kind of crazy. But Utah was like this big realization to me of who she was at the core. And it was a mutual friend of ours that said, she is a natural born leader and she is the hardest worker. She holds 3 jobs. She's a full-time nurse, she does at-home healthcare, and then she's a Beachbody coach on top of it. And she's just so eager to learn, always asking questions and always showing up. But she has this fear, like she's always had this fear, and she's kind of like dipped her toes in and then like ran away, and dipped her toes in and then ran away. But she went to our last Super Saturday, and after that event, she's like, all right, that's what I need to hear. I'm finally drawing the line in the sand. And since our retreat even, she's been super consistent. But specifically since the last Super Saturday we had, she drew that line in the sand. She has shown up unapologetically, and her energy's completely changed, and she's changed the energy of her challengers as well. So Brittany, I'm gonna let you share a little bit about your journey.
Hey guys, yeah, so I'm at work. Another nurse is taking care of my patient while I'm doing this. I'm like, I will be back. I don't know when, but I'll be back. So super glad to be here. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about, I'm not going to go all the way back to the start of my coaching journey, but kind of start at the retreat and talk to you about a couple key things that happened. And like, people always say there's going to be key things that happen in your journey. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I guess you don't really believe it until it happens. And just a lot of those things have happened lately. It's just like you hear what you need to hear all of a sudden. So the first thing is the retreat. The retreat was amazing. We went to Utah. I met the team. I connected with people. So that gave me buy-in. I made friends. So I had buy-in. And people there from corporate and a big leader on our team, Scotty Hobbs, just showed the potential. And like Nina said, I kind of went back and forth after that, but then it was like, I'm just too busy with life. I can't really go in. I'm just too busy. And so the week of Super Saturday, during the week, I went on a call with Nina, and we were just talking, trying to catch up, talk about what I was doing with the business. And I told Nina, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just not really doing anything right now. I'm so stressed out with wedding planning, which my wedding is next July 4th. And I'm like, honestly, what I'm like stressed and like frozen about is money. And Nina was just kind of like, all right, so like, there's your sign. Like, what can you do about that? And so since like planning my wedding, my whys have become a lot stronger. And I think before it was like, oh yeah, I could earn some extra money, never set a goal of how much, or yeah, I could get more fit. But everyone always says your why has to be strong. And my why has become so much more powerful. So my why is I need to feel and look my best before my wedding or for my wedding. And then my why monetarily is like, okay, I need to at least be able to pay for the photographer and the open bar with this business. So how much money does that say that I need to make this next year? Well, way more than I've made before. And so, that changes things because you're not just saying, like, I'm not afraid of people saying no anymore. I'm more afraid of saying, oh, I can't have a photographer because I didn't make money, because I didn't ask anyone to join something. And why am I afraid to ask people to join this when it has changed every single one of our lives, even if it's just our fitness and our health and our nutrition, even if it's not money? Why am I afraid to ask someone to join something that has changed my life? So that call with Nina was very impactful, because it's like, I'm stressed out about money. This is like, I'm so lucky because this is such an crucial solution. If I just put in the work, I know, like, a coach I follow, like Kate Schultz, she paid for her entire wedding with this business. Like, I can for sure pay for alcohol and a photographer and food. I could maybe pay for my whole wedding, but I have to put in the work. And I know that I only have 11 months. So then I went to Super Saturday, and Super Saturday, I went back and forth, like, am I going to be able to go? It was 3 hours away. I have to drive. And then all of a sudden, after that call with Nina, it was like, I'm going to drive the 3 hours. This is non-negotiable. I need some energy. And Nina said, just beware. You'll have a lot of energy that day, but don't let go of it when you get home. I loved the live workout. The speakers were amazing. Amy Rada shared her story. And one thing I really heard from her was, like, post for the post that you needed to see, the old Brittany needed to see. So that's what I always remember when I'm posting. Like, if 20 people think this is stupid and one person thinks this is great and they needed to see it today, that's awesome. And, like, so many people have been posting on my post lately, and they're like, thank you so much for sharing that. I needed to see that. And that's what I want. They're not necessarily joining, but they are getting value from my post. And maybe one day, in 2 years from now, they'll agree to do a challenge group with me. Now, the other thing is Danielle Natoni was completely amazing. She talked about, one thing that really hit home with me is she talked about her story of credit cards. And she, you know, everyone says, if I can do this, you can do this. And it's like, sure, you can say that now because you're there. But she talked about, she had 15 credit cards that were maxed out. I didn't even know you could have 15 credit cards. I still don't even believe that. I have one credit card that I would love to pay off in full. And it's like, okay, if she paid off 15 credit cards, I don't even know what the balances were, but that's insane to me. Why can't I pay off one credit card? Like, I can easily pay off one credit card if she paid off 15 with this business. And so she talked about drawing the line in the sand. One day she just said, enough is enough. I'm either going to do this or I'm not, and I'm going to draw that line in the sand. So when I heard that from her, I was super inspired, and I said, you know, I spend time on this every day, but it's like, oh, we'll do a little of this and a little of that. Well, why not just actually do every single thing, either do it or, essentially get out. And that's kind of how I thought to myself. So my energy has changed since then. The other thing I really want to talk about is challenge groups. So I was talking to Nina about this. I was getting so fed up because it was like, I'm posting in my challenge groups every single day. No one says anything. I don't even know why I'm bothering with this. I just should close it down. But I told these people I would coach them, so I can't just close it down. And then someone mentioned at Summit, I didn't go to Summit, but about feeding the people at your table or they will leave. And Nina kind of said to me, well, if you are enjoying your challenge group, if no one's replying, just run it and enjoy it yourself. Well, I thought about that. I'm like, I'm not even enjoying it. This isn't fun. I post every day some copy, paste, black font, white background. I don't even care about it. So why do I think that my challengers are going to buy into it and care about it when they really have no reason to buy in at all? And so I was like, I got to do something different. And so I looked into Pinterest at ideas. There's tons of ideas about challenge group themes. And I saw this post about a 30-day challenge where it's not just like post a sweaty selfie every day, but it's like, today do a water challenge. Today share 3 things you're thankful for. Today share who inspires you. And so I made a post. So I sat down 2 weeks ago and just revamped this challenge group. And so I said, we're going to have this 30-day challenge. Whoever posts every single day, I'm going to put you into a drawing, and whoever wins gets a free tub of Recover. Now, that's a huge prize, really, to me. And that's okay, because this is worth it to me. I want participation. I want that energy. And so that's what I'm willing to do. It doesn't have to be that big of a surprise. But now going back to the theme, I'm like, okay, summer, August, it's like the last month of summer. What's the theme going to be? And so I chose a beach theme. And so I made this post, and I changed the banner of the group, and I said, backtrack, the group was a Transform 20 group, and that fell off. Some people were doing it. Some people were doing 80-day, and it was just kind of all over the place. So I turned it into a general group called Summer Strong. And I said, okay, guys, revamping this weekend. I told everyone I'm revamping this. I expect participation. I'm making this exciting. every day we're going to visit a different beach. So every day we're on a different beach. We're going to work out on a different beach. That sounds so dumb, but it's like, it works. And I am excited about it. And so is everyone else. And I just like woke up on Monday morning and my post was scheduled. I think I woke up a little late that day and I was like, what? I already have 2 people that posted on this and it's like 7 a.m. That's insane. And so it was just really crazy because I went from no one to participating to 5 to 10 people a day. And I think I only have like 15 people in the challenge group. And I messaged everyone the day I revamped it. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I expect you to participate. It helps to hold you accountable. And that's what we're here for. And it's just so amazing because changing my energy helped. I'm always afraid to tell my challengers of my expectations, but when I tell them my expectations, they usually follow through. And it was so crazy because like yesterday was my birthday and people were posting like, happy birthday, Coach Brittany. And I'm like, oh, this is so crazy. And just people always say like, it's about your energy. And it's like, no, it's just about posting the best posts. And people are like, oh, look, she has such a great transformation. I want to join. But it's really weird because when my energy changed, so I also started a free group and I'm like, I started this on Monday. I'm not going to be able to get 10 people by Friday. But then it was like, no, I'm going to get 10 people by Friday. And I think I have more now. I actually ended up running a bride one, which a lot of the people in there, I didn't even know. And that was super crazy. But also I'm like, why do people say no to free? It's fear. But, so I schedule my posts for every Sunday. That's something I was super bad about. It helps a lot because it's all laid out for you for the week. You know, it takes 45 minutes at the beginning of the week, but then it's there. All you have to do is interact every day because people are posting. They want you to interact also. So I'm just going to show you really quick how I kind of revamped that. Maybe not. So I'm on my cell phone because Facebook is blocked at my work.
Sharing from your phone is really like wonky.
Yeah, it's like you can share Skype, you can share your text
Yeah.
messages. I don't think you can share Facebook.
No, but what you can do is you can when you get home or like even tomorrow, just go on and make a little video and post it in the Dream Builders page.
Okay.
And you can show it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So I just kind of want to show you guys like what it used to look like and how it was so boring. Like how did I expect people to show up and what it is now? And it's not a huge change. I literally post a picture of a beach every day, tell them where the beach is, and tell them to post 3 things they're thankful about. And then I do the same. And just my energy has changed their energy. And so that's what I kind of really wanted to talk about. The other thing is there was this video Nina encouraged a couple of us on our team to listen to on the Dynasty page. I can't remember who her name was. I'm going to find it. I looked for it for like 30 minutes last night. So I'm going to try again today. Anyways, she talked about like, you have to show up even when you don't want to. So that's what I've really been working on is like, I don't feel like showing up to my nursing job today because I'm sick or I'm mad. No, that's not an option. You have to clock into your job every day or you're going to get fired. And that's like what I've been telling myself. So like today, I'm going to get home at like 8 and I haven't gotten my invites done yet, but I need to clock in or I'm going to get fired. And that's what she talked about in that call. And I think that was like super important. But mainly what I wanted to say is like energy is a game changer and you hear that all the time, but it is so true. For some reason, I changed my energy. I woke up Monday, my challengers started posting, people started doing their workout. Like I had this one girl I went to high school with. She was like our all-star athlete. She was one of my first challengers, but she never participated. She never talked to me. I changed that group. She's posted in it every single day. And I messaged her and I was like, I am so happy to see you. I am so glad to know you're doing so well with the workouts. And she's like, thank you so much for inviting me. This is so awesome. But I've invited her to every challenge group I've ever run. So I don't know. It's all about energy, I guess. So yeah, I think that's mostly it.
Awesome, Brittany. Mostly it. That was a ton. So again,
it wasn't too much.
No, it was great. Like, I mean, so many takeaways. So something I can say every morning when I wake up, I'm like, Brittany put me in her challenge group so I can just kind of see and give her feedback or whatever. And I'm excited. Like there's always this random beach, like there's this shell beach. And I'm like, oh, where is this place? Like it's this beach just covered with shells. And it just like, it stops my scroll when I see that. And I'm like, what is this? And then just like the energy from that post, like as I'm sitting there on the couch drinking my coffee, it's like, oh, you know, how nice would it be to be at a beach? And like everybody just loves the feeling of beaches too. And something as simple as that has been such a game changer. And even me, like it's grabbing my attention and it's making my energy like so much better. So yeah, I mean, with Brittany, it's just making the decision, finding a why that's big enough, but not just having this like arbitrary why too of like, oh yeah, it would be nice if this business could pay for my wedding, but knowing like, okay, this business will pay for my photographer. This business will pay for my caterer. Now she knows exactly how much money that photographer is going to cost. She knows how much money that caterer is going to cost. So it's not just saying like, yeah, it would be nice if I could make some money for the wedding. It's saying, no, like I need $1,000 from this business by this date to pay for this thing. And that like, it makes you work, because when you get your paycheck on Thursday and it's like, oh, I didn't get a paycheck. Well, how am I going to pay for this? Like, this is the photographer I want. Like, I can't put this on credit cards. Like, how am I going to pay for that? So that why is huge, with a deadline and with a plan to seek it out. So that is awesome. And it's just like really, really changing your energy, making up your mind and doing the work. Like I said, she's got 3 jobs. She, you know, lives a drive away from civilization. Like she lives in this, like, there's nothing where she
that
lives.
bad.
Yes, it is.
Gina just doesn't like that there's not a Whole Foods.
It's horrible. Don't ever go visit Brittany, but always invite her to come visit you. No, I'm just joking. I had to give her a hard time about that. There's a little bit of rivalry there. But it's just been, it's amazing. And me as her coach, like her energy is like energizing me. And that's where we go back to like that wolf pack. It's like she's this leader now. And when I see these like fun, energetic posts in her challenge group, I'm like, ooh, like, what can I do in mine? Like, where can we travel to? Like, how can I make this exciting? And that's truly what this business is about. So, Brittany, if you have to run, I completely understand that. I know on the East Coast is getting a little bit late. I know this call went a little bit over. But if any of you do have any, like I'm here to answer, Emily's here to answer, and then if Hannah and Brittany can stay on, I'm sure they're happy to answer too. So go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm on my phone, so I can only see like myself and Brittany right now. So unmute yourself or chat in the chat. Or Emily, do you have anything to add?
Just that it was an amazing call. I mean, you guys can see me blowing up the chat thread. If you read all those, I was just like, preach. Like it was so good. And again, it all comes down to the energy. And like you just said, listening to the two of them talk, I personally had like a really crappy day, like energy wise, mood, just stuff going on in personal life. I just had a really crappy day. I was pointing, if you can't tell. I'm still just really crappy day. But then I get on here and I'm like, how am I going to go to bed after this? Like I am by listening to the energy from these 2 amazing rock stars. Like in that energy, it's just funny, you know me, because like years ago, last year, even at this time, I was not into like energy and like the woo-woo shit and like all that stuff. And now I'm like, it's such a thing. And like you can feel people's energy through a caption. I don't like, you can write this great caption, but if you're in a negative energy, like people somehow feel that. I don't know how it all works yet, but like it absolutely does. So like the energy combined with the action, like you obviously still have to put the action in, you have to put the work in, you need to show up. And they both said that, like they both said like, oh, I was kind of doing it and now I'm really doing it. Like I'm doing everything on that business activity tracker, plus having the right energy, plus not comparing, plus drawing the line in the sand. Like it's just when everything aligns, that's when you're going to start to see success and momentum. And just from me coming from like a leader and like I've been through many ups and downs of this business. I just want to say to both of you, hold on to that and keep it going. And you're going to have ups and downs. And like, that's just a part of running a business but remember, I don't know where I was going with that really now. I'm like having brain fog today, but you're going to have ups and downs, but always just continue your journey and keep showing up and keep working on your own energy and your own happiness. And like, that's what this is all about. Like Hannah said, like, we literally like get paid to work out, eat healthy, take care of ourselves, work on our mental health, and help other people. Like, what type of job is that? Like, be in a state of gratitude at all times. And like Elsa, let it go and don't compare to other people. And like, when you find your groove and what works for you, like, I was just cracking up the whole time listening to Hannah's slideshow about like our first messages, because like she has her story of it and then I have my side of it, where like we were on this plane and I'm like, oh, Tyler, like I really want to be friends with this girl. Like she seems so cool, but like I don't know if she likes me, but like I really want to be friends with her. And like that was 3 years ago, guys. Like 3 years is when I first sent her that first message. Like, so this business also takes time. So I'm done rambling. You guys did an amazing, amazing job. Please unmute if you have questions for them while we're on. It was an amazing call.
One thing to echo what Emily said though, and what I've told Brittany about Super Saturday. So yes, this call energized me, but guess what? I have to get back in my car. I have to drive an hour and a half. I have to get my 3 kids ready. Tomorrow's their first day of school. So by the time I wake up tomorrow, that energy is going to be gone. And I can be in the same old funk doing the same old thing, or I can take 5 minutes after this call and I can think of a strategy and of a plan of what I can do tomorrow to hold on to this energy and to change my action. So after all the craziness, the next 12 hours, I will be able to implement and hold on to that energy. So I challenge you guys to do that same thing too. Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions before we do end it, to respect everybody's time? No? All right, then we will end it. Hope you guys all have a great night. And make sure, reach out to Brittany, reach out to Hannah, reach out to Emily, myself, Michelle. We are all happy to have one-on-ones to support you through it all and do anything we can. Thanks for being on tonight and have an awesome night.